So I don't love you. But not only do I not love you and probably never will love you, most of your internet friends don't love you and never will love you, if not nearly all of them, and you don't love them. And we're going to talk about this now, because this kind of started off as me thinking a little bit about the whole parasocial dynamic, which I have a little bit of. I'm too small for it to be really significant, but there's a little bit of it. And I want to kind of give this disclaimer that a lot of this is a lot more prevalent with younger people, especially teenagers that don't really know who or what they are just yet. So they tend to kind of like latch onto something. Whenever I see somebody latching obsessively onto anything parasocially, whether it's the K-pop stans, Taylor Swift, Overwatch heroes, which is really weird. Even pro players, which I remember dealing with that, seeing these obsessive fan accounts about these pro players, about how they're like, this is the cutest and they're the greatest. And I'm working with these guys. They're so freaking boring. The good guys, but just like, they ascribe so much to them. And, they're usually, almost without exception, these people are, teenagers, which is what happens. I mean, I remember to an extent doing stuff like that too. So my point being is that, like, this is going to be kind of twofold. It's not really just about the whole parasocial side of things. It's also just about, like, it feels like we're parasocial for each other. I'm going to say the social media word, but a lot of it is also due to how people portray themselves on social media, which is we're always cooler and hipper and funnier and usually more handsome, except for me, over social media. And so we get this impression that, wow, this person's like super sick and cool and they deserve the attention and so on, just how we present ourselves. We really show our best sides, our non-awkward, non-boring sides. And even more than that, I think that because there's so many people that we may engage into and we spend so much time talking and engaging with other people, which is a good thing in a way, maybe when you're isolated, when you don't really have any other opportunities. But the real danger is that it really does often become a bit of an opportunity cost where you're choosing to spend more time with somebody that you may not actually spend face-to-face time. You may not spend time getting to know them and knowing their flaws and their foibles. And this isn't to say that internet relationships cannot be real. I mean, if anybody knows this, I do. I mean, this is how I met my wife, is over the internet. And my brother-in-law met his wife through Overwatch. So those relationships absolutely can be real and they can be developed. But I think the tricky thing is that it takes a lot of effort and time to develop a real relationship with anybody. A lot of effort and a lot of time. I do consider myself friends with many of the people that I work with now, but it's only because I've spent many hours working and talking and coaching them, or playing with them, really hanging out with them in person at these Overwatch events. Things that really, I think, like, without that time and without doing actual things with these people and seeing their bad sides as well, I don't really think I'd consider myself friends with them. And I think that if I were to look in a lot of these general chats, and even in my Discord, right, and in a lot of the other chats, and and then there's subreddits and so on, and just Discord as a whole, it can really foster a lot of surface level friendship. And while I think that that's probably fine, I'm glad that we're able to socialize. It really should never, ever be a replacement for actual real life relationships. And if you are going to choose to invest more into your internet relationships, I really think that you need to be cautious about and be really picky about who you're actually spending time with. Set the bar really high, because it's not quite the same, and it never will be the same. And while it's an opportunity for those that don't have maybe that opportunity around them, which is fine, the danger is that it replaces. You take the time that could be spent into doing that into doing it to something else. And it gives a little bit of this plastic sheen onto people, as I mentioned earlier, that just isn't really realistic. Like I said, I'm just as awe-inspiringly imposing, beautiful, and charismatic in person, but most other people aren't. And that gives you a bit of an impression, again, as this person, it sets an unrealistic standard, and that can even lead to you not only putting them on a pedestal, but you feeling very self-conscious about yourself as a person, and because you think, oh, well, I know that I'm not perfect, but they do things better, and that's really where parasocialism starts. Is that even a word? Does that even make sense? Anyway, is because you only see the best side of the person because it's their job to be professional and to put out what they do, right? When I record a video, I don't just, do the first take, right, guys? And I don't necessarily, I prepare my streams, I prepare my coaching sessions. This is work for me, right? Now, a lot of my personality shines out through that, but, I have my foibles just as everybody else. And I think that also, what is it?
I don't think you do.
She doesn't think she does, but, I've carefully manicured my opinion for her as well. But that's also for like even a smaller scale too. Like you're never quite as hip or funny or cool. I remember back earlier in my gaming career. Oh gosh, I hate saying that. When I was doing, the MMO PvP, I had even a little persona for that too. Like, right. I was just kind of, a lot more competitive, a lot more trash talky, a lot more confident than I actually was, and it definitely personality was in there, a lot of it, but again, it was pretty manicured. It was just, and we all do it. We don't even realize that we do it. The second that you take a picture to post on Instagram and then stop and take another one, the second that you start to type something to somebody over Discord, then stop and then type again, right? That's not how a real conversation works, right? You just say what comes to mind or you think about it, and it's uncomfortable. I find myself to be a lot funnier over text because I'm not near as witty when I don't have the time to think things through, right? And so I guess all this being said is it really, I'm not so much discouraging time spent in, okay, yes I am. Get off of social media as much as you possibly can, especially freaking TikTok and short form content. It's absolutely brain rotting you. Quick. This is a warning. Please stop. It's literally stealing your personality, your energy, and your joy. It's leading to depression, and it's also making you unhealthy and unhappy. Okay, that aside, spend some time with some real people. Do it. I promise you it's worth the investment. So much of life, people feel like, oh, it's just not as fun. It's not. It is just as fun. It's more fun. It's more, all the IRL stuff that I've done with my family and with friends. It's just so, like, it was so nice to go to DreamHack. It was so nice to go to the finals in Toronto and spend actual time with the real people. It was just so much better. And if you can't do that, well, then find people around you. This is a message from me too that I've been trying to do better on my own end with kind of work consuming me a little bit. But like it is not a replacement. It is it could be close. It could be really good, but it is not quite the same thing. It's just not quite the same thing. If you're young, you have an excuse. It's hard. It's awkward. It's tricky. You don't feel like you've socially developed. It's fine. But if you're young, you have an excuse, but you have even more of a goal, even more of a mission because you have the opportunity to develop, and don't let that opportunity go by. You don't let yourself be socially stunted by this internet age. It's it's where our culture is going, but the desire, the need for real life attachment, for real life love, right? For caring for somebody is still there and will not go away. So put yourself out there, do something. And keep in mind, this isn't just about, being friends also. This is also about service too, helping other people and putting yourself out there. And if you find yourself unable to make friends easily, you should probably keep trying, but also you should make yourself helpful to other people. That's a really good standpoint, is to start with service and start with kindness, and then whatever aspects of your personality shine through, whether they're good or they're bad. You don't have to show your good side. If you only show your good side to a person in real life, then that's the exact same plastic sheen you shouldn't be doing in social media either. So anyway, that's about all I've got. I don't love you. I'm just a normal dude. And that's all.